We're going to be hearing a bit about finding your tribe in a little bit. That's going to go more to the connections. Connecting is one of the most important things in this world. And it's a little sad when we walk away from that, isn't it? But it's so easy to walk away and get distracted by your phone and by all the things going on and forget to talk to the people right in front of your face. Mom's seen me do it at dinner, right, Mom? Yep, especially a week before the event. I'm like, I have to answer this thing. All right. What if you could live life for free? And I don't just mean being free. How else can we live life for free? Feed your animals for free.
Be debt free.
Be debt free.
Don't pay taxes.
Woo! Be tax free. There are so many things. So the Agris tax advice dude, Matthew Sursley, is here talking about how if you track some things, they can become tax write-offs legally. And it is our duty to optimize our tax write-offs under the code. That's what he's all about. Perfectly legal. Why pay more taxes? Keep that money in your pocket for paying off debt. What about if you could generate your own electricity? Anybody here do that? A couple people? Okay, well, Tag is here from Life Done Free, great YouTube channel. He's going to come up and talk to us all about free things, including freedom.
Freedom. Yeah. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Look, I'm getting loud here. Okay. You know, before I begin, I was telling one of my friends earlier today that I've spoke all over the globe about all kinds of business-related things, but I've never spoke in shorts. And and more importantly, I've never spoke to my people.
Freedom.
Right?
Shorts and freedom.
Yeah. How cool is that? So for those of you who don't know, I'm Tag from the YouTube channel Life Done Free. I'm also the founder of the social media platform Freesteading.com. Yep. Oh, of course. You're very welcome. Very welcome. Before we begin, I want to thank you, Nicole, for inviting me down here, to spread this important message. A couple things real quick before I start is, guys, you get to vote with your dollar. These demonstrators and the people who are here today, they donated their energy capital to help you. Do business with them, right? Vote with your dollar, right? So Nicole asked me to come here today and talk about freedom and about taking a stand, which I did. And so I thought the best way to begin is just to kind of tell you guys my story and what brought me here to you today. So I spent 25 years running a series of financial companies. So I ran 2 financial holding companies, 2 insurance companies, 2 agencies, a marketing company, and an investment company. I had 900 employees, about $140 million in assets, and I had operations in 32 states. Okay, so a nice big company. But at the same time, I was a closet prepper. I'd been prepping for many years, since 1994. I was a closet prepper because I was afraid of being put on some list. And so I hid behind the scenes, just doing my thing. And, John from SOE has said many times that all prepping leads to homesteading. Well, for us, that was true too. So in 2017, we paid with cash to buy a large piece of land, thinking that maybe someday I could build a homestead, so that when I retired in 2030, we could live a little bit freer. Guys, I can't tell you how big that decision was. Let me tell you what I mean by that. So fast forward to 2021, right? We're all being sold this bill of goods that COVID is the super plague, right? It's ravaging the country. Well, the CEO of the company that I run, built and run, let me explain that a little bit. So this company wasn't nothing, it was an idea. And they hired me to come in, and I went in and raised them a bunch of capital, put all the things in place, stood them up on their feet. But anyway, so he sent me an email and he said, hey, how do you feel about mandating the vaccine to all the employees? And, I said to him, I'm not going to mention his name, you almost did right there. I said to him, I think it's a horrible idea. I think that we as an employer have no ownership over the employees' bodies. It's a personal decision. And guys, just for the record, I'm not anti-vaccine. I'm anti-tyranny, right? We had no ownership. I told him also that I thought that eventually this would open us up to lawsuits via the HIPAA laws, and some of those kind of things. I'd hoped right there that it would go away, but guys, it didn't. It didn't because I challenged him directly. And so a week later, I got an email and he said, hey, we're now going to mandate the vaccine. And He also said to add a little salt to the wound. He said, I think it would best served if you did it. Right? What he should have asked was, how obedient are you? That's what he should have asked me, right? And so I said, yes, sir, I'll get a meeting together. Okay? I went home to my beautiful bride, who any of you guys who watch my channel, B is this little firestorm, you know. So I went home to her and I said, babe, our life's about to change because I ain't mandating anything. So, right? I called the meeting. Yeah, right. Yeah. Thank you. But I did what I said. I called the meeting. And, you know, the chief executive officer was there, the chief operating officer, the chief financial officer, the HR department, the service team, the sales force. They were all there. And, you know, it was funny looking back at it. You know, time kind of slows down for me, and it's super vivid. The CEO, I can't tell you how nice he was to me. He's like, man, you're making the right decision. You know? He said, we're in this for a cause. We're in this together. We're one team. And I kept thinking to myself, dude, this guy's in for a huge surprise. So, and it was literally like that, you know? And so he began the meeting and he started talking about one family, one cause, one purpose, you know, all this stuff, right? Like, I'm thinking, who's this guy trying to sell? You know, he had no idea what was about to happen. So as I started to talk, guys, you could literally feel the air leaving the room, right? I told them, all the employees right there, that I loved them, I supported them, whether they wanted it or they didn't. You know, that the company had no ownership over their employees' bodies, and we would not be mandating anything. Oh yeah, you should see the look on their faces. You know, they were like, I was escorted out of the building. Yeah, it was actually shock. Like, people were like, you? I built the company. You know, the very first employees of that company that came, I hired. I trained. I lived in the trenches with for 13 years, you know, building that company. So it was a big shock, I think, you know, to them. Still good friends with most of them. You know, so for me, now what? Right? I just lost a career in 1 second that I worked 25 years for. Paid me over $300,000 a year, plus. Right? What options did I have? Did I have to go back to the system and continue to contribute to this giant Ponzi scheme? What was I supposed to do? I had a mortgage payment, 2 car payments, an electric bill, a water bill, you know? What in the world was I supposed to do? So I went home and I thought to myself, you know, I need to do what I call a my life analysis. I need to figure out, you know, what do I have in IRAs, 401ks, retirement plans? What do I have in home equity? What do I have so that I can try to, you know, make a swing at it? And I did that. I looked at who I did business with, right? I looked at where I spent my money, where my money was coming from, all of those things. And, well, now that I was fired and I didn't have a job anymore, I had some time on my hands. So we decided that we would take all of our money out of the system. I drained the entire system. I have nothing. I still to this day don't have anything in it. Paid off every bit of debt that we had, and we began construction on a 4,600 square foot super off-grid home. And I built it myself. Paid for a few things to get done, but we use thermal mass. We use solar heating and solar cooling. I have air conditioners, but I built it in a way where it would be very manageable for us, you know, as we get older through our lives. I built the Freedom Electrical Co-op. So I produce all of my own power. I have no grid anything that comes into my property. I do this through a 21,000 watt solar system with a backup propane generator. Next, we built the Jericho Water Treatment Facility. Yeah, I like to name all my stuff to make me feel like I'm sticking it to the man, you know. But so with my water system's like the coolest thing ever. So I have a 100-foot deep well. I have 7,700 gallons of rainwater, and I have a 2-acre pond. And I can deliver water from any of those sources to any piece of my property, anywhere I want to at any time. My wife, in fact, she can wash clothes on one side of the house with well water and take a shower on the other side of the house, you know, with rainwater. Super cool, super efficient. You know, from there we went on, I installed a septic system. We built, you know, paddocks and food forest, and we built gardens, and we purchased livestock so that I could take control of some of my food independence, which is super hard, by the way. Once I got all of these kind of basics in place, and guys, today I live 100% off grid. I have no debt, no mortgage, no electric bill, I have none of it, right? None, yeah. Right? No, but I wasn't done. right? I just had to get my life free enough that I could purposely piss them off. Because I didn't want them to be able to take from me. And so once I got all of that stuff together, I started to think about what are the other forms of stroke the system had over me. And let me explain kind of what I mean by that. So stroke it's a business term, and kind of what it means is leverage. So when you go into negotiations, if you really want the negotiation to go well for you, right, you have leverage. That leverage is what we call stroke. That stroke is what forces us to do things. So my goal is to eliminate all the stroke I can eliminate, and I'm going to go starve the beast. Right? One little piece at a time. So as soon as I started to think about, okay, what are the other things that I can do? I knew that community was number one. That I had to go surround myself with a community. I'm going to tell you why. Currently, right now, today, 70% of my needs on the farm are provided for either by me or the community. Okay, whether that's beef or pigs or chickens, whatever it is, right? 70%. But there's still that other 30 out there that I have to participate in the system. Right? I got to get it somewhere. I mean, I don't have a salt mine. Right? I got to be able to go get other things. So I look at community as three interlocking circles. Okay, and I call them the crew, the mag, and the mind. The crew is my crew, right? These are the guys that we go stand a barn with. A week from tomorrow at my farm, there'll be 60 people and we're going to be processing wood. So we're going to put up lumber, we're going to put up firewood, we're going to cut mulch for bees' gardens. So that's kind of the inner crew. Next is what we call the MAG. To me stands for Mutual Assistance Group. What this really is about is how many of these other little communities can I do business with, right? Like we do big bulk purchases together. You know, if I find me, 10,000 pounds of wheat, well, what am I going to do with that? I need some more people, right? And so we'll go do those kinds of things. But the final circle is the mind. And guys, you are my mind. The like-minded, all of these people that we can create a counter economy with. So I built Freesteading.com. I went and built a platform that would allow us to connect, not just in your local community, but all the way across the board. And my goal was to simply eat up that 30%. Can I find somebody who has a salt mine? Can I find somebody who does this or who does that? How can I, put that all together and be able to eat up as much of that 100% as I can so that I can go out there and live free? So that's what I did. And we do it every single day now. And I'll just give you guys a funny example. So I have a large piece of property, and we hay it, right? I get a lot of hay that comes off my property. I don't really have the need for all that much hay. So I trade a large section of my hay that comes off my field to another farmer for 4 pigs every year. Now these pigs, I don't actually buy the pig, I buy the share. So like today I could go and say, hey Matt, I need a pig. So my pigs may not even be born yet, right? But then I take 2 of those 4 pigs, and my mechanic maintains all my equipment for 2 pigs a year. So think of all of the money I took out of the system, right? Just by going out there and working hard, kind of to starve the beast. There's a lot of ways we could do it, guys, but it starts with accountability. We have to agree that everything that happens to us is our fault. Everything. If something doesn't go well for me, it's because I didn't plan right, didn't decide right, whatever it was. And if it went well, guess what? Well, that's my fault too. Right? So got to start with accountability. The next thing I want to talk about is mindset. How you kind of go into this whole thing, because it's a mother load, I'm going to tell you. It's a lot to think about every single day. So people say that money is the root of all evil. I've heard this many, 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 many times. Now, the Bible says that the love of money is the root of all evil. Okay, so we can agree with that, right? Mm-hmm. But money, I would argue that money is actually the root of good. Let me explain. Because the root of money is production, right? The root of production is your brain. And you get to choose every day where to apply your production. You can apply it right here at SOE, doing business with like-minded people, or you can go down to Walmart and buy that tactical backpack if you like. Right? You get to apply your production. Money's nothing more than a transference of energy. I'm trading my energy for your energy. You produce whatever, I produce whatever. Right? So we got to get our mindset right. Also remember one other very important thing, guys. Anything you get for free, anything you get for free, it means you're not the customer. You're the product. Right? You have to be able to recognize these little pieces of stroke. And I'm going to give you guys some examples today of the little things that I talk about as far as stroke goes and how they get them over us. But you got to be able to recognize them. Okay? Real quick before I get there, though, I want to talk about our mindset as far as you guys know how like preppers and homesteaders go through a cycle? When I first started prepping, it was so funny, and we laugh about it to this day. I still have it. We went down and bought a couple cans of Vienna sausages. No lie. I still have them. It's kind of, my trophy. But as time wore on, you store food and you get a little more and a little more, and then pretty quick you realize, well, man, I'm going to run out of supplies. I got to start growing a garden. And then, just the progression that goes through. Well, mentally, I think we go through progressions too. So I want to talk about the 4 mindsets that through my journey, because I think if we can get to the end, I can help you guys in your everyday life recognize the stroke that people have over you. So the first one, I want to talk about the complainer. And you guys know anybody who is just pissed all the time at the system? All the time. Moaning, complaining, they complain to their coworkers. Makes them tired, doesn't it? Right, guys, the fact is that change is not coming through this. All it does is render you weak. You can't fight if you're weak. Right? You can't. Then you got the ostrich. I was this too. I'm not part of the system. I don't care what they do over there in Washington or, wherever else it is. Hakuna Matata, I'm going to live my life according, and I'm not going to worry about it. The problem with this is by the time it affects this person, there's nobody left to stand it. Right? They're going to be alone. One of my favorites, I like to call the Minuteman, Wolverines! That guy? I was that guy. Right? But here's the problem, is that typically the Minuteman's going to lose. Then the state gains more power. You ever heard of a thing called the Patriot Act? Right? So when you do this, you're actually making the problem worse. Instead, we need to be the 4th kind, which is what I call the visionary. Instead of just not only not participating in the system, they don't care about it. They're creating their own systems. They're creating their own counter economies. They're trading hay for pigs and then pigs for mechanics. Right? They're finding another way to take the system back, which is what I consider starving the beast, which is my life mission now. They fired me and I have nothing else to do. Right? Yes! right. But other than a homestead and so anyway. So I want to encourage all of you guys to start thinking of it more as the 4th one, and start challenging those little bitty systems so you can actually make a difference. Because all of the other ones, you ain't going to make any difference. It's just going to continue and continue and continue and continue and continue, right? So, okay. And somebody took my notes. That's okay. I'll wing it.
Oh, those are your notes?
Yeah. Apparently I haven't needed them that bad.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. So I probably got to like page 10 or something. These ones here I just wanted to have out here because there's so many of them, when we're talking about starving the beast. There's a lot of ways to do it. So let's talk about growing our own food. Now if I ask the audience today, why do you grow your own food? Most people will tell you that, you're growing your own food because it's healthier. Right? You get to control the inputs, you get to control what you put in your body, it's rewarding, you get a little bit of dirt therapy. Me doing it alone ain't gonna do anything, guys, I'm telling you. It's too big. Imagine if 1 million of us did it. Right? We could make an actual impact and we could starve the beast. Give you guys some other examples real quick of ones that I really, really like. Energy. Guys, energy is going to become a bigger and bigger deal, right? Anybody have an increasing electric bill lately? Mm-hmm. Right, anybody, right? Oh my God, I don't have one. My friends tell me all the time, they said, Dad, it must be so cool to have free energy. I'm like, you have clearly never paid for a solar system. Because it's a lot of things, but it is not free. Let's talk about energy real quick. Even the little things, guys, going to more efficient appliances or, shade trees, caulking, better windows, all of those things limit that dependency. That dependency, they're going to take that money, guys, and I'm telling you, they're going to lobby Congress, not only for taxpayer dollars, but for their initiative, for their identity gender studies, for their things. And we are feeding them. Right? We have to, at some point in time, figure out a way to cut that off. Say, I'm not doing it anymore. I don't have to. Cash. This is a big one too. I brought cash with me today so that I could spend money locally. Buying your things with cash is so valuable, right? As someone who's owned many, many businesses, I'm sure everybody knows this, but when you go up and swipe your credit card, that vendor's paying a fee for that credit card. Where's that money go? Right? It goes to big banks. Right? It goes to choice, guys. You get to choose, and the only way we're going to take the system back is if we take a stand. We vote with our dollar. Your vote don't matter. I know that everybody in here believes that Joe Biden was the most successful, most popular president in the history of the United States of America. Right. I mean, we've got to find another way to fight, and the way we fight is through our dollar.
Right.
That's how we fight, you know? Yeah. One last one I want to talk about before we go is steer away from smart technologies. Guys, I'm telling you, you won't find an Alexa anywhere in my house. Because what they do, and I know this because of my career, right? What they do is they're taking all of that data and they're figuring out how, one, to market you to you better, but more importantly, what they're figuring out is they're selling that data to the other companies to then market to you, who are then taking that money and that data to Congress to what?
The lobby.
You guys we've got to get smart. Turn that stuff off. It is not helping you. I know it's convenient. You know, hey Alexa, order me some toilet paper, you know, but guys, I'm telling you, it's just a bad idea. So guys, I just covered like 16 things. I want to encourage all of you guys to just focus on trying to recognize it. You know, to recognize all of those little pieces of stroke. Because there's thousands of them. You know, you talk to any general who's ever gone into combat, really any officer, they'll tell you they don't want to fight a war on more than one front. Why? It splits your force source, you know, it splits your forces, it splits, you know, your change, your supply, it splits all of those. You guys right now are fighting the largest economic battle ever fought, and you're fighting it on thousands of fronts. I never planned to go off grid. That wasn't my goal. My goal was to starve the beast. I'm tired of it. I'm going to take control of my life. Because guys, their help's not coming. I'm telling you, it's not coming. You know, one last thing I want to talk about, and then I'll take some questions, is, you know, for years and years I bought into this American dream, right? That said, hey, I'm going to get a job, I'm going to work 40 years for a company, I'm going to buy a home, I'm going to build up home equity, I'm going to build up retirement, I'm going to do all these things, I'm going to retire, all of that. But guys, it ain't how it really works anymore. Right? The idea of working 40 years for a company only to be given a gold watch and told to piss off so that then you can spend the next 6 years on Social Security, to which then you will lose everything that you saved your entire life as Medicare spends down your assets and you leave this world as you entered it broke. I ask you, what's the frickin' point? What's the point? I'm not going to live a life like that. There's got to be something better to that, right? So I want to challenge all of you guys to join, you know, all these, I mean, thousands and thousands of people who are tired of game. And if we do that, all of us together, we can live that life done free. I promise you we can do it.
Yeah, God bless you. Have a great day.